YouTube? Thanks for checking out my channel, Explore More Stress Less. My name is Carly and I am super excited about today's video because I have realized that I shared several videos so far on my channel and have yet to introduce myself or my husband John or Bella. I haven't told you about ourselves or how we ended up in Colorado. We are actually from Florida. We are not from Colorado. We just moved here a few months ago. So I plan to talk a little bit about us, where we're from, and how we moved here. I know that during our process of trying to move out of state, there was a lot of mental roadblocks. So for me, I resorted to YouTube and watching people's videos and their journeys on how they moved and how they made it happen. And it just, I don't know, it was a way for me to kind of like find some inspiration. So maybe this video can be that for you.
You take me way up.
Alright, so let's start out with a little bit about ourselves. So obviously I'm Carly, my husband is John. You have seen him in the videos. He doesn't really talk too much in the videos. But we are both from Florida. I am from South Florida, the West Palm area, and he is from Tallahassee, and we met in Tallahassee. He went to school for aviation, I went to school for education. Once I finished my associates in Tallahassee, we moved to a small town called Lake City. We moved there for his job, and Lake City is a small town right outside Jacksonville. I finished my degree at the University of North Florida. Right before I graduated, this was in 2018, we took our first trip to Colorado. We immediately fell in love with it. The first thing that we did on our trip was we went to Rocky Mountain National Park, and that is where John proposed. He was able to get me to casually prop it for a picture. In June of 2019, we had our wedding in Tennessee. That was such an awesome time. At that point, we decided that, you know, after all of the big milestones were done, like he was done with his schooling, I was done with mine, we were married. We didn't have, obviously we don't have kids, we didn't have a house at the time, so we figured, you know, nothing major is tying us down to Florida. We knew that we wanted to move out of Florida at some point, and we wanted to be closer to mountains. And so we figured, you know, why wait? Let's, you know, get things moving. And we communicated that with our families, and, you know, they were all for it. Originally, our plan was actually to move to Tennessee. As the year went on, John actually got a job offer in Denver. But before I even get into that, I want to talk about our process of wanting to move in the first place and like what we did to make that happen, like the steps to make that happen. So yeah, we got married in June 2019, and then that summer we started having like more serious conversations about moving and planning to move. And so what I did was, obviously I watched a lot of YouTube videos to get some ideas, because moving out of state it's obviously doable for anybody, but it's scary and it's intimidating because it's not just like packing your things up and moving a couple streets over in your town that you're used to. You know, you're moving to a totally different area. I got a huge poster board and I just mapped out, you know, the date that we wanted to move by, how much we were gonna need to save by, the cost that it was gonna be, rental of the U-Haul, all of those things, some general areas where we wanted to look for places to stay, some job opportunities that were posted at the time, just at least to get an idea of what's out there. And we were just saving and saving and saving as much as we could. But yeah, the whole time it was stressful, only because, you know, we felt like we were going into the unknown. And not even that it was hectic, I think it was really just all in our heads. Like we just had these mental roadblocks of like, should we move? Like things are more affordable in Florida, especially the town that we were in. Like, should we just buy a house here and like just settle and like be fine and go on with our lives? But yeah, so there was a lot of self-doubt, but also a big part of us was just like, no, like this is something that we have been talking about for years. Like we want to make it happen. Something my mom said to me that really stuck out. She said there's never going to be a perfect moment or a perfect opportunity or the perfect amount of money in your account. There's always going to be, oh, we don't have enough of this. Oh, we don't have everything we want aligned up. You just have to take that idea and just roll with it and just make it happen any way you can. That piece of advice really stuck with us. That is our thought process. We are always thinking to ourselves like, oh no, we need this much more money. Like, oh no, we need this to happen for us in order to make this move. And then when she said that, we were just like, that is true though. Like there's really never going to be a perfect, like this is the day that you are going to move. Like this is when it's all gonna fall into place for you. Like that moment probably won't ever happen. So you just have to make it happen for yourselves. And then I think it was in April when it was March, John got a job offer in Denver. And this was right before the pandemic got to be what it is now. This was before things started to close down. So we got that job offer. We were so excited and nervous at the same time because, we were leaving behind everything we knew. And a couple weeks go by, because he had a start date. A couple weeks go by. I was teaching at the time. I go on spring break. Spring break gets extended. And then before we know it, everything's closing down. My job is completely virtual at this point, and we were just scared. His job was telling him like, oh, like it's fine, we still have an opportunity for you. But yeah, it was really nerve-wracking because, well, one, we were afraid to travel because we were like, well, what if there's hotel closures? What if there's we can't find a place to eat other than like a gas station? But I will say none of that happened. We, still got the U-Haul. None of that was affected. We loaded up the truck. We had no problem finding a hotel even at like the hour before we needed it booked. We didn't map out anything. We just mapped out our route, but we didn't know where we were gonna stay, where we were gonna stop. We kind of just got in the car and just went with it. And then whenever we felt tired, we were like, okay, let's pull over and find a hotel. Like I remember we were in Texas and we got Whataburger, and I had to pee so bad. And we had just ordered our food, and Whataburger wasn't allowing people inside. So we had to like sit outside, like on the concrete, quickly like eating our food before we were able to go to a gas station so I could use the bathroom. So yeah, that was an interesting moment. Yeah, nothing terrible happened. Like we made it, no one had a flat tire. If I can give you any advice, it would be to just pick where you want to move, or at least a general area. Map out a plan if you know that you can't just get in the car and go tomorrow. Map out a plan and just stick to that plan and write it down. I think that helped a lot, was writing things down. We even had like a little envelope where we put our savings. So instead of, having a bank account savings, which we have now, but at the time we were like, no, like we want to physically take that money and put it into something. And so that's what we did. That's what I suggest, just writing things down and just not losing sight of that. And just like my mom told us, like there's never going to be a perfect moment. You just have to create that perfect moment for yourself and go after it. And, I think about like, well, what if he didn't get that job opportunity? Would we have still moved? And I honestly think yes, because we were just so focused on like, we're making this happen. If we wait any longer, we're just gonna end up settling somewhere and, we might not be happy a few years down the road. At that point, our mindsets were just like, whether we get jobs or not, like we'll just take our savings, go, and things will fall into place, even if we have to work somewhere where we don't want to work at the moment. Like we'll get something, we'll figure something out. But yeah, that's a little bit about us and how we ended up here in Colorado, which by the way, we are loving it, as you can tell with all these videos. But yeah, if you have any questions, leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And as always, remember to go out, explore more, and stress less.
I wouldn't mind never coming down, just wasting my time.